If there's one thing true about Deadpool, it's that its hero, for reasons never explained, understands his place in the world. Well, in our world. In fact, the irreverent and obscene mutant is quite aware of the context in which he lives. That is, a multi-million-dollar Marvel multiverse that's oversaturated and increasingly labyrinthine, spanning decades, studios, and too many movies for most viewers to count. From its beginnings, the Deadpool franchise has prided itself on being a subversive, self-aware, and irreverent anti-superhero movie, from the comics to Hollywood, championed by co-writer and star Ryan Reynolds. It's no surprise, then, as fans have come to expect, that the long-awaited Deadpool and Wolverine embraces its fourth-wall-breaking self-awareness even more, even as it increasingly resembles the superhero movie model it loves to exploit. After all, someone who hates superhero movies looking at you, Scorsese, won't be won over by a few self-critical jokes about lazy writing, celebrity cameo budgets, and the superhero landing that Reynolds' Deadpool regularly refers to. But this time, director Shawn Levy, in his first Marvel movie, seems to have found a sweet spot. Levy is surely helped by the fact that the franchise's third movie has a bigger budget, more publicity, and, of course, a brooding, eventually shirtless Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, who has long been teased as someone Deadpool has complicated feelings for. That anticipation makes their relationship, full of hatred, fan expectations, and homoeroticism, even more enticing. Their fight scenes are as compelling as their moments of selfless partnership with the spirit of, you guessed it, saving the world or worlds. Speaking of worlds, there's an important development in ours to be aware of. The first two Deadpool movies were distributed by 20th Century Fox, whose $71.3 billion acquisition by Walt Disney Company in 2019 opened the door for the franchise to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As expected, Deadpool and Wolverine makes the most of that vast playground, which began in 2008 with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and now includes over 30 movies and a plethora of TV shows. The acquisition is also a recurring target of Deadpool's sarcasm throughout the movie. Though filled with references and cameos that may feel a bit like an inside joke for the less devoted, Deadpool and Wolverine is quite easy to follow for the casual Marvel viewer. Though it wouldn't hurt to have seen the first Deadpool and Jackman's 2017 Logan, a harbinger of the growing appetite for R-rated superhero violence. The Disney Plus series Loki also offers useful context, though it's by no means mandatory, about the Time Variance Authority, which monitors multiverse timelines to prevent incursions or catastrophic universe collisions. A defining feature of Deadpool has been its R-rating and hyper-violent action scenes. Whether thanks to having more money, Levy's direction, or some combination of both, these scenes are much more visually appealing. However, Deadpool and Wolverine occasionally succumbs to the deus ex machina trope that so often plagues superhero movies. Wade Wilson's, or Deadpool's, relationship with his ex, Vanessa, is particularly underdeveloped, though the ambiguity might be a metaphor for Deadpool's future within the MCU. The plot feels aimless at some points towards the end. One cameo-saturated battle scene in particular resolves in a way that leaves its audience somewhat unsatisfied after spending considerable time building tension around it. While there are some impressive stars involved, the audience may feel disappointed by the number of MCU characters referenced but not realized. Nevertheless, the bloody yet comedic final combat scene is enough to rally viewers back to the last act, solidifying the movie's identity as a fun and generally well-made summer film. As the only MCU release of 2024, Deadpool and Wolverine demonstrates that it's not necessarily the source material causing the so-called superhero fatigue. It also suggests, in light of Marvel's decision to scale back production post-pandemic and during Hollywood's historic strikes, that greater attention to filmmaking will ultimately help the final product. Hope you enjoyed this review. Subscribe and like the video.